you, Charles. Now, Vanessa, let's welcome you back to the program. And last week we were talking about Oracle and the relationship between Oracle and Israel. This week we want to have a look at the UK-Israel Tech Hub.
Yes, spending more time down the bunny labyrinth of Israeli or Zionist influence over sectors of British society, pretty much all sectors. Rather than me reading off the screen, let's play the video, which is a promo video of this UK-Israel Tech Hub based in Tel Aviv at the British Embassy. Interesting, this video was put out just before the COVID project kicked off. I'll leave you to draw your own conclusions. So let's play the video. Truly awful music. I don't know who picked that. But anyway, so one of the services of the UK-Israel Tech Hub is to organize bespoke business delegations. And in 2022, they organized a health tech delegation to Israel. So let's just play a few seconds of their kind of promo video of that event. So interesting that they appear to be focusing very much on the Midlands and the north of the UK. And here is a screenshot from that video, and you'll see on there are included Manchester University, Leeds University, and Sheffield University. So it would be quite interesting to speak to some of these so-called partners of the Israel tech sectors or ecosystem to see exactly what level of collaboration is there. Now, this was mentioned in the media on their website. More than 300 Israeli companies have already a presence in the UK. I would say now it's closer to 400, and 1 in 7 NHS drugs it comes from Israel. Now, then again, on this video, let's look at the partners. So you have there the NHS. Of course, you have AstraZeneca sort of blaringly in the right-hand corner, and a number of other fairly well-known organizations within the British government who works with the UK-Israel Tech Hub. On the next slide, we can see. So you have basically the Department of Digital, Culture, Media and Sport, the Foreign and Commonwealth Development Office, Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy. Now, also a little reminder that about 2 weeks ago, we looked at the influence of Unit 8200. So bearing in mind that this is literally a tech hub, a reminder that the best tech school on earth is the Israeli Army Spy Unit 8200. Israel's Unit 8200, a conveyor belt of high-tech startups. So to what degree does the 8200 unit have influence also over these partnerships? Now, you had previously, or you still have currently, the UK Israel Business. The organization has a network of over 2,000 companies and 10,000 business leaders, and works closely with the Department for International Trade, the British Embassy in Tel Aviv, the Israeli Embassy in London, and the UK Israel Tech Hub. Now, interestingly, this was founded in 1950 as the Anglo-Israel Chamber of Commerce. So 2 years after the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians, the Nakba in 1948, when Palestinians possessed of their land. In 2011, it merged with the Israel-Britain Business Council, the IBBC, and became the UKIB. Yes, it all does get very confusing. The chairman of this one, the UKIB, Danny Kessler, a dedicated supporter of non-profit organizations and charities, is a corporate trustee of the Anglo-Israel Association, another one. His family's involvement in the creation of the State of Israel has instilled in him a passion for Israel's growth in all areas, and he sits on the board of several such organizations. And then we have, thank you, Dan Beshadsky, Dor Beshadsky, who's the executive director. He holds degrees from the Hebrew University, served as a team commander in the IDF Special Forces, and at UKIB, he has expanded the organization's focus on executive programs. So again, you have this very heavy Israeli military influence on these organizations and groups. And then honorary presidents, Trevor Chin. Who is Trevor Chin, you might ask? Well, this was, I think it was 2 years ago, 22. Secret document reveals Israel lobbies dominance of Labour. Multimillionaire Trevor Chin secretly funded Starmer's leadership campaign earlier in 2020 and has a long history of financing pro-Israel groups in both main parties of government. His pledges included, that's Reid's pledges. So that was Reid's pledges to Chin, included committing Labour to opposing BDS, the Palestinian-led boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, as well as promoting the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance's working definition of anti-Semitism. But who else does Trevor Chin get involved with? So there you can see very clearly the Israel-Britain Business Council, the IBBC, as we mentioned. He's a member of the executive committee of BICOM. This is interesting. You can look him up. You can find out all of the other Zionist lobbies that he is a member of, president of, on the committee of, etc. It's very easy. But what is BICOM? So according to a Guardian article in 2009, how the pro-Israel lobby in Britain benefits from a generous London tycoon. Britain's most active pro-Israeli lobbying organization, which is the British Israel Communications and Research, BICOM, which flies journalists to Israel on fact-finding trips, I would read propaganda, and organizes access to senior government figures, has received nearly 1.4 million in 2 years from a billionaire donor whose father made a fortune manufacturing arms in Israel. And BICOM is known basically for influencing media, government officials, etc. This is from a slide that Brian put on the news back in November 2023, which shows very clearly the billionaire donor to BICOM and to Cameron in this case is Paju Zebludovich, who's a Finnish Israeli, industrialist and arms dealer, as was his father before him. And you can see there 2 million has gone to BICOM. BICOM is making donations to the Conservative. BICOM is also making donations to the Conservative Friends of Israel. And you can see that this is an entire merry-go-round of both money laundering and donations and sponsorship of political opinion, in my opinion. Then let's look at the BICOM team. So in the management, director of BICOM, Richard Pater, 15 years basically influencing government officials, diplomats, and journalists. He regularly briefs British audiences on Israeli politics and security. Read into that what you will. He regularly appears on the BBC. He's responsible for UK delegations to Israel. He joined from Israel's Prime Minister's office, and he also served in the IDF Armored Brigade and continues to serve even now in the reserves. And let's have a look at some of the researchers. I'll focus on Caleb Van Door on the right. He is basically living in Israel since 2005, pre-BICOM. He was he was in the policy planning division of Israel's foreign ministry, and pre-2005, he was in the public affairs department at the Israeli embassy in London. And then moving on, we can see that basically the UK Israel Tech Hub is still alive and kicking in January 2024. So in the midst of the war, and this was an interview with Tajel Yanev, the Strategic Partnerships and Critical Tech Lead at the UK Israel Tech Hub. And basically what she says, with UK elections looming, she doesn't think it will make any difference to the relationship between Israel and particularly the UK Israel Tech Hub. Whichever party is in power, they will continue to promote, support, and expand the partnership and collaboration with Israel. And I'd just like to leave you with a quote from Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1938, his message to the Congress on curbing monopolies. The first truth is that the liberty of a democracy is not safe if the people tolerate the growth of private power to a point where it becomes stronger than their democratic state itself. That, in its essence, is fascism. Ownership of government by an individual or a group or by any other controlling private power, for discussion. But I think, Mike, one point that I really do want to make is, to what extent does this collaboration freeze out UK startups and UK tech development? So in other words, indigenous tech development, right? And to what degree do those companies and organizations that take part in this collaborative exercise have to align themselves with British foreign policy and Israeli policy in order to get a look in to these partnerships and collaborative exercises and projects?
Yes, that's a very good point, a very good question. We'll discuss that a little bit more in extra. And also the other question that needs to be asked, Vanessa, is this a takeover of British tech by Israel, or is this in fact the inevitable payoff for Israel continuing to pursue our foreign policy in the region?
Yeah, I mean, that is a good question, and it definitely needs discussion.
Okay, well, we'll have a chat about that in extra. So thank you very much for that, Vanessa. Okay, if you like what the UK column does and you'd like to support us, please head over to support.ukcolumn.org. All the options for helping us out are there. And it's only through your financial support that we can continue doing what we do. You could pick something up at the UK column shop. But please do share anything you find on the various platforms, especially on ukcolumn.org and ukcolumnextracts.co.uk. Now, at 1 p.m. yesterday, Brian's interview with Madeline Hunt went out. She is looking at councils and the title of this was The Twilight of Democracy in UK Councils. So councils and so on, very much a feature of what she was talking about. If you're interested in that area and council policy, then have a look at that interview. Tomorrow, Joy Warren is the guest for an interview, and she is going to be talking about fluoride in our water and the whole principle of mass medication of populations. And finally, then, I just want to mention this. The UKCV family has now established itself as a proper charity. These, of course, are a group of quite a number of vaccine-injured. So they describe themselves as a friendly UK-based community of individuals that unfortunately experienced life-changing adverse reactions after receiving COVID-19 vaccines. So you can find out more about this group at ukcvfamily.org. Please do have a look at that and support them if you possibly can. Many of the people that are involved in that are extremely ill still and don't see any prospect of improvement in their situation. They're certainly not getting any support from the mainstream media or from the UK government, and certainly not from the MHRA or the industry. So they do need support and help to promote their work. They are working very hard in extremely trying circumstances. Okay, let's move on then. And where does this